Welcome to Sex in the News with the Siegel Brothers. Tonight we'll be doing a special feature focusing only on the confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett.
All right, so we're going to do something a little bit different, as you said, than we normally do. And rather than present a number of different news stories, sex in the news, we do really want to focus on some of the really key issues about why this particular Supreme Court nominee is not a good Supreme Court nominee.
Not good. How about downright dangerous?
I think that's a good description.
How about poised to set us back half a century
Absolutely.
in terms of civil rights and sexual freedoms.
That's right.
You know, I was thinking back this afternoon when I first took over as sexuality educator when you had moved on from Planned Parenthood, and how naive I was in thinking, oh, this is a cool new job for me. I'm in sexual health, and there's nothing political about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
All right. So, this is, again, one of those sort of stealth, destructive kinds of things. It's, talk about dropping something in there that is not so obvious. And that's really why we wanted to do this.
Right.
Because on the surface, and I've been hearing people, even people on the left, say, well, she seems like she's not so bad.
She's so lovely.
She's so lovely.
She's so reasonable.
She's an intelligent. She seems like a reasonable person.
She's a mom.
Don't be fooled.
Wow.
Right? Really, don't be fooled
She is
behind
as much
that reasonableness.
Such a stealth weapon.
Yes. And
Like
again,
planting a time bomb on the Supreme Court.
right. And I want to be very clear about one thing, that it's easy to criticize her because she's open about her faith and her religiosity. That is not the issue. The fact that it will make her decisions for her. The fact that her sense of religion is not a modern sense of religion. It is like she enjoys saying in terms of her jurisprudence, she's an originalist when it comes to the Constitution, which of course she isn't, but I think religiously she can call herself an originalist in terms of wanting to hold to the original tenets of a book that was written thousands of years ago and was out of context then. Right. And was out of step with the times then.
I mean, I can't quote scripture and verse, the entire Constitution, but I'm pretty sure separation of church and state is in there somewhere.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that somewhere growing up.
And all of her writing, all of her history, all of the letters that she signed on to that she did not disclose to the Senate committee.
But she's honest.
Yeah. Where she has decreed her intention.
Right.
Saying things that judges should not follow precedent that they disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. How is that upholding the law?
Right. Well, that to me is the most dangerous thing that she has said. And let me I'll flesh that out a little bit. She once wrote, right, and she put this in writing, so it's an easy thing to follow. But she wrote that Supreme Court justices should not follow precedent they disagree with, as you said, but instead have, quote, a duty to substitute their own, quote, best understanding of the Constitution. Now, her best understanding...
The operative word being duty.
Yeah. Her best understanding basically comes from her Bible and her version of Scripture. Right. So this, right off the bat, should completely take her out of the running for a Supreme Court justice.
This is not even a mainstream Catholicism view in America. This is the minority evangelical.
That's right.
Remember the big controversy when Kennedy was running for president. All this we talk about a Christian nation. It's really been a Protestant nation.
Yes.
And there was all this fear that the president's going to be taking orders from the Vatican and we can't have a Catholic pope, right? Joe Biden is also a practicing Catholic.
Yep.
So it's not about that, but her particular brand of Catholicism is this, the standard family values line, the duty to husband.
That's right. That's right.
The man and woman, right? The complete intolerance. So there's a breakdown here of all of the threats, the very, very real threats that will be posed if, and well, it seems likely with Republican control of the Senate, that she will be crammed through in the very minutes before the election, and put on the Supreme Court as the ninth and now 6-3 conservative majority on the Supreme Court.
Right. We call, again, packing the court, as it were. Now, if she really was half the Christian that she claims to be, she would follow the recommendations of almost 90 of her colleagues at Notre Dame University and basically postpone. She should voluntarily pull out of this nomination and ask that it be held after the election.
You said pull out.
Yeah. Well,
is that okay with them? Does that birth control work with
No,
them?
actually it doesn't, because that is Onan. That was the sin of Onan.
That's right.
That again, so many of you religious people get wrong.
That's right. It's not about masturbation like you think.
Yeah. So let's break down and look at some of the reasons why we feel as strongly as we do. Now, when it comes to Roe versus Wade, this is a no-brainer. Right? This was telegraphed long before. In fact, this is how she even got on the list for consideration.
Almost 20 years ago, she was talking public about Roe being a travesty or
and as a judge,
erroneous decision.
Right, that was the thing. She said it's an erroneous decision. But let's also be clear, in her entire judicial career, she has never, ever ruled on an abortion case. So, again, talk about no experience and not really seeing and actually having to put into a real effect what these principles are all about. The thing that disturbs me the most, and this is the loud telegraph that's out there. While she's never ruled on an abortion case, she, again, as you said, has been very, very vocal about her desire to overturn Roe versus Wade, how it's not a legitimate a decision. It was an erroneous decision. Cases that upheld it were erroneous. But to me, the thing that bothers me the most is that she refused, in any of this questioning, she refused to include Roe versus Wade in what is called super precedent. Right, which basically are cases that no justice would overrule, even if she disagreed with the interpretive premises from which the precedent proceeds. She would not include that. So as much as she refused to even answer a question about Roe versus Wade, she was speaking loudly and clearly about her intention.
Yeah, what has she been saying for 3 days? I can't comment on a hypothetical.
Which
none of these are hypothetical.
Yeah, I mean,
these
that's
are all
insane.
very, very real things that are going to be coming to the Supreme Court. Marriage equality, the Affordable Care Act, women's rights, and civil rights, immigrant rights, voting rights. This is across the board an assault. People should not think this is just about abortion and the gays. This is across the board.
Across the board.
On civil rights.
Right. Almost 80% of the time, any time that she was looking at a case where it involved an individual versus a corporation, she has always sided with the corporations.
Go figure.
Yeah,
right?
Go figure.
Workers' rights is part of civil rights.
Right. So as far as she is concerned, the Affordable Care Act is gone. She would get rid of that. She has already been very, very vocal calling the Affordable Care Act's birth control benefits clause an assault on religious liberty, and refers to common birth control methods as abortion drugs and embryo-destroying 5-day after pills. Now, is this not loaded? Do we really need more?
Well, she refused to cop to any science about climate change, so why should she cop to science and medicine about ovaries and ovulation and menstrual cycles and how birth control works and how birth control prevents more abortions than billboards of fetuses quoting scripture or trucks driving around with pictures of dismembered fetuses on them.
Exactly. She's consistently referred to LGBT identities as preferences.
As if they're choices.
That's the implication. Right? And that's her belief. They are choices. She does not believe in any protections for transgender people.
Like her president.
Right. And even once misgendered transgendered people, referring to a transgendered woman as a physiological male. Right? She has taken a lot of money to speak at anti-choice, anti-justice groups. And one in particular she's been fond of speaking with, the Alliance for Defending Freedom, which has been referred to as, quote, arguably the most extreme anti-LGBT legal organization in the United States.
In the name of freedom.
Right.
Because gays and transgender people are threatening our freedoms.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Wow.
So, I mean, again, we can go on. Everything that we would look at, workers' rights, immigration, as you said, just general justice. She would definitely overturn Title IX, right? Claiming it not only does not give protection to transgender people, but basically even believes that extending Title IX protection to gay and lesbian people is a, quote, strain on the text. Right? That doesn't really do it. So, don't let her looking like a nice lady, right, fool you. Right? When you hear the things that are being said about her, that are being pointed out to her, that people are reading her quotes, believe them, please. Yeah. Right? Believe them. And I say this to everybody when you look at what's going on right now, especially when the things sound really outrageous that these people on the far right are doing, please believe them. Talk to people who did survive in the 1930s in Germany and ask them what the price of not believing these stories really were. These are the times we are living in.
That'll do it for this week's Sex in the News. See you next Sunday.